God had already stripped the kingdom away from Saul because Saul continually lived his own way. So God had placed David in Saul's place as king, but now David was blatantly disregarding God's commands as well. He intentionally sinned against God, and there would be consequences. But when David was confronted about his sin, he repented. He realized how terrible his sin was, and he asked for God's forgiveness. He cried out, "I have sinned against the Lord." And as soon as he did, Nathan reassured David that he had God's forgiveness. We each need to realize that we've sinned against God. Surely David sinned against many people in this story. He sinned against Bathsheba, he sinned against his wives, and he sinned against Uriah big time. But when it came down to it, his sin was against the Lord. It's one thing to be sorry about hurting people for the wrong things we've done. It's quite another thing to realize that we've broken God's commands, and we're going to be judged for our sins. But be thankful that God is a gracious, loving Father who's quick to forgive us when we cry out to Him in faith. Jesus died for our sins so that we could have forgiveness for all of them. Yet there's still consequences for our sins. And our sins often hurt others more than they hurt ourselves. David's son died because of his sin. We should always remember how devastating our sin really is. It separates us from God and hurts the people around us. And this should give us an even greater love for Jesus, who saves us from our sins.